casino, the driving factor. That was Mr. Units. It was not asked of any of the other candidates. And so that in of itself is a little bit of a suspect question to me. Clearly, Mr. Units is out of favor with the rest of the board. With regards to Mr. DiAgostino, he was, in my opinion, he spoke very precisely, and he spoke with knowledge on every single topic that was asked of him. With regards to residency, I think I might be able to speak for the rest of the search committee, and that we all came into this process wanting residency to be a requirement. And after having had gone through the process, we found that that was, in fact, an unreasonable request. It doesn't happen in today's world.
What would have happened to your search pool if you had demanded residency?
One person definitively said he would move here. Mr. Units said that he probably would move here. And then after that, there was one other candidate that said that he wouldn't. So out of all the candidates that, one definite, and then there was two maybes, and out of the two maybes, neither of those made the cut. So I think that just needs to be taken into
Mr. Andrews, you didn't bring those two forward for us to meet. Those weren't two that. Was there a reason why you didn't bring forward the two that did
Absolutely,
say they would move here?
because we were a search committee, and it was our job to whittle it down. Otherwise, the Board of Selectmen would have been the entire search committee process.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Rosenthal. And once we get the hand up to the 8 o'clock mark, we'll probably cut this off.
I'd just like to clarify the search committee thing. First off, we were told by our consultant that if we limit ourselves to people who would move to Middleborough, we would lose a lot of the top shelf people. In this case, we would have lost, out of 8 candidates, 3. And I asked every single one the question, because traditionally, and I explained this to them, our town managers have lived in town, and we're used to that. And furthermore, we feel if people are going to advocate for, particularly for things like overrides, that they ought to bear the brunt of that. So it isn't that it wasn't an issue for us. All of these people, number one, assured us that that would not be the case, and they would treat Middleborough as if they lived here. And we felt they were professional enough to do so. Of the 8 candidates we considered, 3 of them, when I questioned them, basically said that they probably would move to Middleborough. I made certain that I impressed on the search committee that we should have at least one of these as a finalist, and in fact we did, Mr. Purcell, who chose at the last minute to drop out of the process. And frankly, what we tried to give you were the best 4 candidates, so that you wouldn't be involved in going through what we went through. That was our job, to sort of ferret out the best. Some of the other folks had issues also. We didn't feel that the issues that Mr. D'Agostino had necessarily disqualified him, and he presented, as you've seen, extremely professionally and well.
He did.
So it is unfortunate that you didn't get to interview the other candidate who would have moved to Middleborough, but it turns out that the townsfolk in Norton loved him so much that they wouldn't let him go under any circumstances. So in the last time around, if you recall, we lost one of the candidates, which is why we tried to move so quickly, and we have, and which is why you actually need to make a decision on this tonight. But you know, I think that we presented you with 3 candidates, and had we presented you with a 4th, who have all of the characteristics of a town manager, and the education, and the potential to work well in Middleborough. And it is tough to meet a guy for an hour and come to a conclusion as to how he would relate or what his personality is. We asked every one of them whether or not they would have an open door policy, what their management style was. Every one of them basically said it was relaxed. Every one of them said they'd have an open door policy. And of the 4 candidates, Mark Morse had actually recommended Purcell, who dropped out, and what's his name from Hingham?
Cristello.
Charles Cristello. But I'm not sure that he was absolutely certain that Mr. D'Agostino was serious about
let me stop you for 1 second, because I think an answer to one question may give everybody, I think I know the answer to the question. Is it the committee's belief that any one of these 3 people that we choose would be perfectly competent in doing the job and would do a decent job?
Everyone has a different skill set. It's up to the board to decide which one of the three is the best fit for Middleborough at that time. That's
All
why
right, then
you
fair
guys
enough.
make the
Then
big
we
bucks.
can't lose here as long as we pick one of the three.
You can't lose.
All right, thank you. Now, I guess we come to the fun part of the evening. What is the board's pleasure?
Make a motion that we extend the offer to Mr. D'Agostino, current town manager of the town of Mansfield.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
That's 3-2. What is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would make a motion that we extend an offer to Mr. Charles Costello, the town manager from, the current town manager in Hingham.
I second it.
Discussion?
Point of order.
Yes.
I'd just like to bring this up, but does Mrs. Brunel have the, is this a conflict of interest?
No, Mr., no,
Voting on this appointment?
Okay, let's, whoa, whoa. Okay.
no, Mr. Rogers, when
Go ahead.
when they first formed the search committee,